Great. Welcome, everyone. We're just waiting a few more minutes just to have a few more people join the workshop today.
We have more note takers than people.
Sometimes that does happen. But it will be on YouTube for everyone to see. All right.
I can this will be the first hackathon with just AI chatbots.
I think we have some real people here.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sure it lands on people's calendar and then the bots join. So
Awesome. All right. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to ETHOnline 2024 DIMO's workshop, which is called Building Car Apps. So today we have Yev from DIMO, who's going to be taking us through the session. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Yev to get started. So you can go ahead and screen share. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, or we'll answer them afterwards after the workshop's done. All right, on to you, Yev.
thanks, Sophia. Welcome, everybody. Let me start the screen share. So I'll start with a bit of introduction on myself. So I am the CTO and one of the founders of DIMO Network. We've been building this for about 3 years now, coming up pretty soon. Before this, a lot of the team had spent about a decade in mobility industry. What that means is working on vehicle connectivity or building self-driving vehicles or working on ride-hail APIs. And here to tell you a little bit about DIMO. So at its core, what we're solving is a real world problem where the transportation industry today is not very efficient and very closed. So you may have heard that cars produce a lot of data, but at the same time, we don't see any of this data because it's mostly held by the manufacturer of your car. And for most people, the car is the second most expensive thing they've ever bought, and it requires maintenance and the costs go up. It's not a great experience today if you are a car owner. Most things in your life are very connected, but your car is not. Which leads us to the next problem. When the car does get connected, it seems like it's quite a leaky bucket of data, right? Where, for example, GM or someone else, like Volkswagen, is sharing your data behind your back, or you take it to the mechanic and you feel like you're not getting a good deal and you're getting screwed. But our goal here is to create DIMO to solve this problem with an open-ended approach. We believe mobility needs a protocol, and we're building DIMO in an open source way. So it's built, all the code is on GitHub. We're building it with our community of 15,000 users. And of course, we're building it on a decentralized ledger. For those of us that don't think about cars daily, the cars today are basically stuck in the BlackBerry phase of the phone evolution, where at the end of the day, they're getting smarter, but they're not quite intelligent yet. And Tesla may be leading the way, but we haven't seen that magical moment of the App Store coming together happen for cars just yet. So DIMO really is inspired by the Web3 vision, right? A lot of the team was in Bitcoin early. We're very inspired by the Ethereum vision. But the thing that really made it click for us was actually deploying helium networks. It was a moment when you realized that you can combine this open vision, the world computer, and the incentives to build real solutions to real problems like telecom or transportation. So the way we're using the ledger and Web3 technologies is to create an identity for vehicle manufacturers, device manufacturers, for the vehicle itself, as well as applications. Using our platform, you can issue credentials, you can share data on chain. It's perfectly auditable. We partner with projects such as Tableland to bring the asset definitions on chain, and we work with Streamer to make live streams of this data available. And of course, payments, which comes out of the box. So in summary, what we're trying to do here is use the ledger to create a very open network where you can bring your data about your vehicle and you can use it with an ecosystem of applications that people have built that compete on their merits, not because you've been in the space for a long time. And today, happy to report, we have 106,000 cars on DIMO. There's about 25,000 physical devices sending data to the network. Those are all include a hardware secure element with an Ethereum address. It's 140 different car brands, and we're actively working on getting to 1 million cars. Our mission, in summary, is to create an open marketplace of hardware, vehicles, apps that allow you to make more out of your car and bring the car into the 21st century. The way we are going about it is kind of thinking of it as a flywheel, where we're at a stage right now where we've gotten quite a few users to join, and we're bringing more ways for them to connect. But now we're really focused on bringing applications, which we're hoping will bring the next phase of, let's say, user adoption, because now some people who may have not joined before now want to join for a specific app. So to put it in perspective, step one, we created our first party mobile app to bring users to the network. So this is obviously a few weeks out of date, but it's hard to keep up. And the users are building their own digital twin of their car. They're linking verifiable credentials, they're linking data streams, they're creating an immutable record of their entire vehicle history. And at this point is why we love to be participating in ETH Global. Now, users want to use this data that they've collected with an ecosystem of apps. And our pitch to developers is same as Steve Jobs' pitch on the iPhone. There's millions of cars out there. 100,000 of them are already on DIMO. So just by showing up, you get access to this huge existing user base of the network. We're building APIs and SDKs. These are all trusted relationships. They're not backdoor relationships. And we're enabling an open listing of services for any apps that are built because of the ledger. And in the future, like, it really is summarized by an open marketplace on the world computer where you can have a trusted relationship with your car, with other parties in the automotive world, and in the far future, solve some of these other challenging problems like charging and vehicle to city communication or vehicle to vehicle communication. Having spent some time in this, it's a very hard problem to solve in Web 2. However, putting vehicle identity on a distributed ledger means that it works everywhere and it can work for any brand of car. All right, enough about the DIMO background. Let's dive into the actual technology here, which is what developers really want to hear about. So DIMO has a lot of pieces. We have some hardware SDKs. We have the ledger smart contracts. We have the DIMO nodes. There's clients and apps as well. So a lot of our SDKs today are going to be focused on the dApp layer to make it very easy to retrieve the data. However, ETH Global is also obviously very blockchain focused. So while the SDK may not cover it, if you need an ABI to do something on the ledger, we're happy to provide that. So best way to get started is with our developer console, which we just launched last week. You can come in and mint your developer account, pick your redirect URLs, and get building. What's not there today, but shouldn't be a problem for this group, is simple checkout with acquire DIMO with a credit card. However, I think everyone here has a MetaMask, so it shouldn't be too bad. In terms of APIs that are available, so there's two core ones that we've built. The identity API, which is essentially an indexer of the on-chain data, so it allows you to look up which vehicles, manufacturers exist, where the data is stored for that vehicle, what permissions have been granted on a given vehicle. And if you have permission, you can use telemetry API to retrieve the actual data from the vehicle, which is signed at the source. And then there's some supporting APIs. So for example, if you want to get a stream of the data, you can use Streamer, which is embedded in our SDK, to actually get a live feed. If you want to find out more about a specific vehicle, like is it a gas or an electric vehicle, we have a device definitions API, which is powered by Tableland. And then there's some other supporting services like valuations or trips that we can dive more into in Discord if people have questions. wanted to highlight some of the prior things that we've built or other people have built using the DIMO network. So one of my favorite ones, always, big believer that public good should be a big outcome of things we're doing. So we had a developer come by from actually a Web2 business. Coverage Critic is a US one-man operation that helps you find a cell phone plan by comparing coverage across different areas. And he's actually using the DIMO data to create a real map of how each different carrier performs in the real world. Love this use case. Also tells me that the FCC allows a lot of lying from our US carriers. Another fun one is a vehicle usage report, which is very EV focused, and I don't have one to demo for you today, but if you have a Tesla already connected, you can check it out. Another fun one is another kind of a public good. Oh, this is the wrong link. My apologies. Should be weather streamer. This is what I was looking for. So this is a live feed from all the DIMO vehicles with local weather in wherever those cars may be. So if you're interested in looking at weather data specifically, you can subscribe to this public stream and start looking at weather data, which should show up in just a second. Give it one more moment. Live demos are always hard. And all right, we'll come back to this one. Another fun one is the Badges app. Actually, I do have them open back here. My apologies. I already had pre-opened them. So here's the DIMO weather stream, which is updated at a second level with all the location and weather data from the DIMO network. Another fun app that we had built internally was a badge app. So using the data from the vehicle, we created some badges that you could claim if you've met a certain criteria. So for example, visiting Detroit or going over a certain speed or going under a certain speed. All right, let me come back to the presentation. So just some examples of things that we've already made. And there's some other developers who are building AI chatbots on this data. So they're using login with DIMO. They're able to grab your vehicle information and they provide a chatbot where you can ask your car questions. And they're now building more and more data ingestion on their side. So over time, it will be the perfect AI assistant for your car. Another fun real world thing we did with Helium and Moken. So because we have, let's say, this nice real world interoperability and about 10,000 DIMO devices run on Helium network, we ran a contest where if you drove around and talked to the most Helium hotspots, you could claim a reward, which is something that anyone can build. So on the open APIs we have. And then some more futuristic things that I wanted to throw out to people. So every single vehicle on DIMO is an NFT at its core. So you can build a peer-to-peer vehicle marketplace, for example, where, replacing the Craigslist, which is an insecure option, and the dealer who's taking too much of the vehicle profit with something that uses verified data to create a peer-to-peer transaction is something I would love to have. Another fun use case, people really love their cars. So you could build a verified car community. I've always wondered how many people on Twitter actually have that Ferrari or Lambo they claim they have. Well, we have a cryptographic way to retrieve a VIN from a car. So the badge that you get from DIMO that says you have this car is a lot more foolproof than the empty claim. And another fun area, right, for example, with EV charging and going green, you can use the driving data or the charging data to create an incentive program for people to be more green, or maybe offset their carbon footprint by buying carbon credit, right? And even something that's someone brought up to me last week, which is, could I use it? Could I create a car wash pass? And absolutely you can. Then there are some more fun use cases that I think people would love to enjoy building on chain. So between the verifiable vehicle identity and the telemetry data, you could build a Uber and Lyft replacement. I had ChatGPT generate me some code here. I'm sure it doesn't quite work the way you'd expect, but I would love to live in a world where I can go anywhere globally and there's just one smart contract powering all those ride requests. and I don't have to pay some middleman 30% and the driver gets all of the money and I get all of the value because it works everywhere. Coming back to the concept of, the vehicle is an NFT. You could use, for example, things like ERC 4907 to create a car rental contract where people are able to rent your car. And at the same time, if they need to get around, rent, go to a common place anywhere in the world and be able to rent the car the same way. Can't forget about the fun use cases. So, every vehicle has an image attached to it, and people always bring up, hey, could I customize my vehicle image? And you definitely can. As a frequent Need for Speed player back in the day, I would love the ability to buy some digital gold rims for my car. We're planning on sharing data from some vehicles that DIMO has access to for the hackathon. And obviously, if you have your own DIMO vehicle, you can get started right away. However, if you don't have a DIMO device yet and own a car and want to get one, there's a discount code to buy a DIMO device with a discount, so you can get connected. Every single one comes with a built-in Trezor inside. Some reminders, and we'll post these in Discord as well. So all the resources are in the Getting Started guide. And if you're just interested in looking at some stats, we'll post this as well. There's a Dune dashboard of all the DIMO on-chain data. Last but not least, we also have a grants program at DIMO, which is called DIMO Ignite. And this is something that's available for everybody. If you need help getting started, the first step is quite straightforward. Just send us an email with some info of what you're trying to build. And, our only check, because, we're providing this grant on behalf of the community, is we have to make sure that you're able to provide a reasonable chance of success for the grant. And that's all I had, which leaves us just around 10 minutes for Q&A. I hope people have lots of questions, but I'll stop sharing here and let's see what people have.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, that was a great presentation. Yeah, just like I've said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can just unmute and ask right here. And in the meantime, I'll check Discord as well.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
The digital twin NFT kind of stuff, is all the data on chain, or is it just like a key and then you have to go off chain in order to get the data for the car?
So the chain kind of acts like DNS. So one of the things on the NFT is actually a pointer to where the data is stored for that specific vehicle. To give you a more intricate answer, so this is our identity API, and I'm looking up my own car. So this is what's public about a vehicle. So for example, what kind of a car it is, who made it, if you have a unique name registered for it, the devices that provide data for this vehicle, earnings, obviously public, and then privileges. So, but to go and actually retrieve the data, you need a permission, as well as knowing where to go to get that data.
Okay. And does that, in order to get one of these, do they have to have the device? Like people can't just spin up one.
Anyone can actually mint a vehicle, right? What's still somewhat gated today is you have to provide a data stream to it. So you can either log in through for example, a Tesla can log in using their Tesla credentials. We're calling it a synthetic device because it's basically bridged into Web3. And if your car is not very modern and connected, you can buy one of our devices, which I have both. And that's the other way to provide data. And we're adding more over time. So one thing that will be coming soon is actually ability to link insurance to your vehicle as well.
That the data stream stuff. So this NFT is kind of like static data, and then it's like streaming. You're talking about the APIs. That's like where you can get streaming data and that kind of stuff. That I'm assuming you guys have just open test. Like, hey, if you just want open test vehicles that we can just subscribe to, and we don't need permissions, or is that all available just in the regular documentation, or is that like, hey, we need to contact you in the Discord and get special keys or something?
So at the moment, so the data for every vehicle is inaccessible unless you've been granted it at the moment. So what we're doing for this hackathon is you just post your developer license contract address, and then we'll share data from one of our test vehicles with you, so you have something to develop with.
Okay, awesome. And then the next thing was on the dev kit hardware. Did you already post what the code was, or is that posted somewhere else to get the?
Yeah, we can post it in Discord again, but it's very straightforward. It's just slash one more back, ETHOnline 2024.
Okay. Is it appropriate to ask how much that I can go look, but I'm just if it's available
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, so we have two devices and a third one coming. The smaller one runs on the Helium network, and I believe it's priced at $99. And the larger one is Raspberry Pi CM4 based, so it's a lot more powerful and you can do a lot more with it, but it is more expensive with a SIM card at, I believe, 300 something.
Okay, cool, very cool. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
We'll be in Discord if you have more questions.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Ted.
Well, if somebody's there, cool. I just thought of a new one with the. Do you actually attach the title to the NFT? You talked about a potential marketplace. Like if they actually sell the NFT, would title come with it and you already have that linking, or is that?
Unfortunately, no. We don't have it is not end to end yet. So as you know, the government moves extremely slow. But I did see some good news a couple of weeks ago. So California is I have it right here. California did start putting titles on chain, but this was unfortunately less than a month ago. Coming back to where we started and what DIMO's trying to do is kind of push the world forward here in automotive, because titles are mostly still paper, faxes, very not even like web -1 technology.
-1. All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony, for the questions. We have two in Discord. So the first one is any diesels on the device descriptions?
Any diesels on the device descriptions? I would have to check. So we have a lot of different cars on the DIMO network, and let me see. So all of our device definitions for every brand are on Tableland, which is built by the textile team. So I see that for quite a few cars, we do have gasoline in here, but I will have to double check about diesel and maybe J1939 support as well for you. But it's impossible. It's very hard for us to get all the metadata for every car out there, but we've tried to do our best to scrape together probably the most comprehensive database out there today across US and Europe.
Okay, awesome. I'll tag you in Discord just so you can answer that question and get more data. Okay, perfect. And another question is there a test car we can use? I'm looking for streaming telemetry data for a car, but I don't have a device or card to mint it just yet.
Yes. So in Discord, once you get your developer license, just post that address and we'll share our test cars with you. So you'll have cars to develop against.
Awesome, great. Perfect. All right. Does anyone else have any more questions? Like I said, feel free to unmute if you'd like to ask, or you can drop them in the chat. Okay, perfect. Well, I guess that's it for questions, Yev. So just wanted to say thank you so much again to Yev and for DIMO for coming to talk to us and having this presentation and great workshop. If you do want to connect with the DIMO team, then just drop into the ETH Global Discord and just go to partner-DIMO and you can drop your questions there and the team will be happy to help. Perfect. Thanks so much again.